you spoil a child, and that's in the Bible. But you have come up roses because obviously it didn't affect you as well. Looked like you were able to get over the hump, you know? And that's a testament to you.
Well, you can never say that. You can never say that. You can never say that. Everyone has a point where you could have went right or left.
True.
Everyone has that point.
Including myself.
Including yourself.
At about 12 or 13.
12 or, well.
Keeping it real.
Mine was 19. Well, I mean, I have different forks in the road.
Okay.
I have different forks in the road. Because I have done,
as we all have,
things to do survive.
Right.
Like well, okay, let's break it back to the 80s. Let's go back to the 80s. Let's go to the 80s real quick. If you lived in the 80s and 90s, you was a teenager to a 25, mid-20s, so anywhere from 14 to mid-20s between the 80s and the 90s. Most likely you were in a low economic region, neighborhood, whatever.
Yeah.
You have some type of drug selling activity in your past. You know what I'm saying? Most of the rappers back then, that's all they rapped about. No, but some of the rappers, I've known rappers who made raps about my life.
Okay. And that's why I got you on the show, because you didn't settle for that.
No, you
saw
can't
a better
settle.
path. He saw a better path, and he decided, education is the key. And now you've got an excellent testimony for those people out there. And that's why I appreciate you getting ready to go into the prison systems and everything and educate people and even talk to them about depression, et cetera, because you have lived it. And you're letting people know that there is a way out, which is a beautiful thing. And you do believe, even though you don't like Muhammad Ali, you do believe that the glass, in fact, is half full. And the other thing that really, really blew me away that I really loved that you told me about is that you have a 17-year-old daughter.
Yes, my daughter goes to
Georgia State
University. Yeah.
And she's 17, and she just published a book, ladies and gentlemen.
Self-published.
You're watching the Ernest Faison Show. It's all about education. I'm here with Hunter. His daughter's 17 years old, and she just published a book. And what is the preface of this book?
That book, it's a murder mystery. It's a high school murder mystery book.
17 years old to have the wherewithal.
Just the organization, the steadfastness to do it. It's hard to break.
How long did it take her to actually, comprise this book?
I'm a little embarrassed, right? I've been trying to write a book for the last 2 years, and I'm just finishing up.
Okay.
It took my daughter, she told me 6 months, maybe
6
less.
months at 17?
At 17.
Wow. And what is she studying, by the way, at Georgia State?
She just made the Rhode Island Honor Society, and right now at Georgia State, she's taking up nursing. She wants to be an OBGYN nurse. Yes.
Outstanding. You've got to be a proud papa.
Proud papa. But she listened. She's always read, and I have 2 daughters. Her older sister took another path. She's not in college or whatever, but she's not a reader. She'll tell you she's self-proclaimed. I don't read. Me and my other, so you have to read. You have to do.
In order for you to know where I'm coming from, you got to know where I've been.
Yeah.
Then maybe I'll tell you where I'm going. Hello.
You
can go back to the church. Well,
if the church is not your foundation, it's.
I agree with this man. I mean, some kind of way you have to have some type of spiritual awakening, because the way this world is going and everything. That's why I say the World Cup. I'm a big soccer fan.
Okay.
Look at the world. I mean, look at the situation in the world. And I think that this World Cup probably is bringing people together more so now than it's ever needed to be.
Well, I love that about soccer.
Right.
That it's.
Because we're fragmented and divisiveness.
Everyone, you don't have to be too tall, you don't have to be too big, everyone can do something.
And we have a certain person in office, I won't mention his name, who rivals in this, but I do think the cooler heads will prevail, and we'll keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? Kind of like this show. Your daughter, this really impressed me, though, 17 years old. I know what I was doing when I was 17.
It wasn't.
Wasn't writing books.
I don't even think I was doing homework.
Yeah. So you think your ministry will be very, very good as far as turning people on to higher education, giving them understanding that depression does not necessarily have to defeat you, but there are ways around it. So you've taken on a whole different mantra versus that snotty-nosed kid who was in Cleveland now here you are, doing what you got to do.
A lot of things also is hope. You gotta have a hope. You have a hope of an expectation to a plan to do something.
This is true.
Right? So, and I like what you said earlier about, I think you said you meditate.
Oh, I meditate.
Meditate.
I do a Zen meditation. I meditate, Tai Chi. I'm into the martial arts.
Well, meditation, I do a lot of self-hypnosis, which is another form of meditation.
Absolutely.
So self-hypnosis, you're just putting something specifically into your meditation. That's
Right.
the only difference between self-hypnosis and
That's
meditation.
just like, coming on this show, I had already actualized how I envisioned this to go down, and it all went good until you said that Muhammad Ali wasn't the baddest man.
Hey, Roy Jones Jr.
You see how we lighten it up? We talk serious, we hit them
You
with some
have to.
seriousness,
You
we
have
lighten
to.
it up. But the most important thing, as I told you, is that you get your subject matter out here. And I think that we're doing just that. I mean, we talked about your education, we talked about where you were from, we talked about the boxing, even though that was a little suspect. Talked about your family life, the fact that you're dealing with some things, but you will not let it defeat you. And again, I have to keep coining the phrase, you do believe that the glass is half full. And that's a beautiful thing. A lot of people don't have hope, man. And especially, again, all people, but especially African-American kids can look up to someone like you who necessarily weren't dealt the best odds, but you didn't let it deter you. You actually, reach higher. You aimed high, as the Air Force say, aim high. We're veterans, we can speak that kind of talk.
Well, let's go back
and it's a testimony for you.
Let's go back to the difference between being depressed and
Okay, go ahead.
depressed and being depressed and then not being depressed, right? Everyone see me at first as a happy person,
Yeah.
right? It's some days where I'm still the happy person, but inside I may not be happy per se.
Okay.
And those days I'm not gonna show up. Like when I said I didn't want to come here.
Right.
I didn't want to come. I'm like, the anxiety, just the fear or afraid of not what's going to happen once I got here. But I knew I was going to be okay. I know you. I know my stuff.
Right.
I got my master's, but it's still something inside of you.
It's chemical.
It's chemical.
It's chemical.
It's chemical.
There you go.
So people say, get over it. Just get over it.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
There's nothing to get over. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's no physical thing that I can move, that I can fix. Anyone who's who have those chemical imbalance, there's nothing that you can go fix physically.
Yes.
Right? So that's when you do need like different medications and you need the psychiatrist per se. So that's the only thing I want to get out there. That sometimes it's not, because here my talks are about rising from the bottom to the top, right? Or from going from one level of life to a higher level. That's the real basis. But sometimes you need some help to get.
Oh, absolutely.
Get to that
I would not
level.
have my own TV show, even though I did it 10 years ago, if Mr. Ed Skirker was not in that locker room. Who is this booming voice that we hear? And, one thing led to another.
And he didn't even know that you had done this before.
That's exactly right. And so my vocal muscle memory kind of kicked back in, if you will, kind of a pun play on words. You're watching Ernest Faison Show. I'm your host, Ernest Faison, the host with the most, talking with my brother, Mr. Hunter. He's educating us and giving people hope to let you know that you might be depressed, but depression does not have to take control over you. And the fact that Cleveland, Ohio, the mistake by the lake, you can even rise above that.
You can even rise above the mistake on the lake.
And things are good. So I really appreciate you coming on. I suspect that in the future we will have to do it again.
Be more focused. We'll be more focused.
Yeah, well, playing that mental ping pong is a good thing because we had a lot of things we wanted to do and we were able to get them across. So I would just like to thank everybody under the sound of my voice who were able to catch some of these very poignant points that my good friend Mr. Hunter has brought about. We will be doing a podcast and I will have a website, so I would like to get your opinion on what you think about what I'm doing. Take care of yourself. I'll try to do better next time. God bless.